All right. Good evening. We're just at 8 o'clock here. I'll give it just another minute before we get going. As you come in, you'll notice that your microphones are muted as well as cameras turned off. If you do have questions, feel free to use the chat functionality. We'll pause after to answer questions. We'll get through the content first. We anticipate that between a few slides and a demo, this should take no more than a half hour. Anybody who wants to stick around for questions after, you're more than welcome. We have the remainder of the hour to do that as well. So we'll get started in just another minute here. Okay. Once again, good evening. My name is Ryan Foley, Manager of Operations for New Jersey Youth Soccer, overseeing state cups, among other programs. On the line tonight, we also have Richard Lee, who's with Squadi, our account manager based in the U.S. Youth Soccer office in Frisco, Texas. We also have Matt Falk, the state youth referee administrator, on, as well as a number of state cup referee assigners. As I mentioned a few minutes ago, this webinar will be recorded, will be shared. In addition to sharing this webinar, we'll have written resources and small bite-sized video resources for everything covered here today. So you won't have to go rewatch a half-hour webinar when you have questions. We'll have a minute to 2 minute video on each of the topics that we cover. So if you do have questions on something, it's very bite-sized for you to go ahead and watch. You were invited to this call because you were selected, nominated, appointed to a referee list for State Cup games this fall. This is all State Cup games from round of 64 all the way down to your semifinals, and some referees may have the opportunity to work the final matches. Key to this season, different from previous New Jersey Youth Soccer State Cup seasons, is that we are centralizing the referee assignment process. We're centralizing all of the game day rosters and scoring to a mobile experience. We know that technology continues to change and evolve. We know that the process for our game needs to modernize. And we think that State Cups is the perfect pilot opportunity to do that. So we have assigners that have been specially designated and appointed by New Jersey Youth Soccer and the State Referee Committee to assign State Cup games. Those assigners were strategically picked based on different clubs and areas of the state that they service and have the ability to service. And they may be different from your regular assigners on a day-to-day basis. If you don't know the assigner that you've been appointed to, it's very likely that your local assigner that you work with each and every week has provided your name to them. So, this is a new process. We're sure that there will be some hiccups along the way, but we want to say welcome and thank you for servicing the New Jersey Youth Soccer State Cups games. Tonight, this agenda will cover what Squadi is, how we intend to use it, what the referee responsibilities are with the Squadi mobile app on game day, how you access Squadi, how you receive, accept, or decline assignments through Squadi, how you use it for the digital check-in process on the field before the game, so there's no more paper rosters, and how you use it as the referee to report scores and incidents and misconduct. As I mentioned before, we have the project vision and we've kind of undergone a change. We know that this process of digital game day rosters and moving away from paper and paper passes eventually is the way of the future, right? We're 2024. We've been doing the same thing for about the past 10 to 15 years, and we know this is the next step. Squadi is here to help make that happen. They're a very well-known provider globally, and U.S. Youth Soccer has an agreement for some time and over the next couple of years. So we're committed to making this project work. Our goals after feedback from referees, from clubs, from teams, was to modernize the game experience for everybody involved, from players, coaches, referees, and fans. And what that meant is to eliminate paper as one core principle so we don't have those errors on rosters, right? Somebody that forgets to print a game card and doesn't have accurate information on a game card, or it's pouring rain and your game card is not readable, right? We move away from those issues. Centralizing referees. So the competition, the teams, the assigners all have one place to do all of the work that they need to do for game day, making sure that we can get full referee crews on games, making sure that reports are completed on time. We can follow up when there's incidents, get a little bit more information, make sure that teams are upholding their responsibilities and getting games scheduled timely as well. That's the improving the scheduling process. So there's usable tools that everybody's scheduling games in a platform accurately. And because it's a mobile app, the same mobile app that you're using as a referee is the same mobile app a coach is going to use. It's the same mobile app that a spectator is going to use to get access to standings and statistics. So it engages members, whether they're in round one or the championship match. It adds value for everybody involved. And then, while this process may not apply to the referees, it helps us collect team fees in a more streamlined way throughout the entire competition for the various fees that State Cup has. So this is all about modernizing our game, which could set a really good precedent moving forward. You look at what other leagues are starting to do, this is coming in one way, shape, or form. And we think that this is a good pilot opportunity in state cups to get used to it. And we're excited that you as referees have the opportunity to champion this initiative. So that brought us to Squadi. Squadi is that match day app. What you'll use is to help you with every responsibility on match day, where the game day rosters are going to live, where your referee assignments are accepted, declined, and otherwise. App-based scoring. So after the game, you're able to score right from the app. You don't have to, scan QR codes or email somebody with additional information or take a picture of your game report, right? You can do it right from your mobile app on your own phone or iPad. And then for teams, we'll get to the point where all of their scheduling communications is done from a mobile first perspective. So they don't have to log into a system to do that on their computer, through a web platform. Everything is intended to be mobile first. I've talked a little bit about the process. I want to make sure that I drill this home because it is new and it's different than a lot of the other competitions that you work either in New Jersey Youth Soccer governing bodies or outside of that in the federation. All games will be assigned, all state cup games will be assigned by assigners, New Jersey Youth Soccer assigners through Squadi. As a referee, you have the responsibility to accept or decline that game in Squadi. The days of emailing assigners back and forth are largely going by the wayside. This system will be the source of truth for state cup games. You'll then use that mobile app, Squadi's mobile app, to access your game day rosters on your own phone in place of a paper game card during check-in. So there will be no paper. And then you'll still verify that player pass that's presented to you with the player's photo against that digital app roster. Over time, we intend to do away with player passes once we get familiar with this system, once the referees are familiar, once the coaches and clubs become familiar. But Phase one this year, you'll still collect that player card. Make sure that the person in front of you matches the photo on the card, and make sure that that person's listed on the game day roster on your phone. So it should be very similar to what you're doing today with paper. Referees, so you'll have the ability to tap and check in players on that roster. So instead of checking in with pen and paper, you'll have the ability to just tap a check mark on your phone and walk through who's there. If somebody's wearing a different jersey number that day, you can very easily modify jersey numbers for those players. Coaches can also do that right from their phone in real time. So if you notice there's a ton of errors, hey, coach, go make these changes for us. And you'll get that updated on your device in real time. Referees will also use the app to score the game, report yellow and red cards, and any other incidents that happen within 24 hours. So that game will be stuck on your app until you complete the after game details. It will not go away until you do that. And it is a requirement as a referee to do that. It's a duty of a referee. It's included in the responsibilities for your game fee. So please be sure to do that. If you don't, we now have the ability to know who we have to chase down to get that information so these teams can advance to the next round very timely. We want to call out that this is not a payment system for referees. You will still be splitting the fields in cash, splitting the referee fees on the field in cash for your preliminary games. The championship matches are different as we've done in the past, but teams will still be responsible for splitting those game fees and giving you cash on the field. I want to make that very clear. So now I'm going to go ahead, now that I've explained the process, I'm going to turn it over to Richard, who's going to do the mobile app demo. Let me just make him a presenter, and we'll get going here. Richie, I believe I did that, so just confirm that that worked for me.
It did on my laptop, but I will need it on my phone. There should be another user
Yep,
called Richard on somewhere in the guest, somewhere on the list, if you can find me.
yep, I think I got it. Did that work?
Let me have a quick look. Yes, perfect. All right.
Okay,
Let
great.
me just share my screen.
As Richie's doing this, we sent some instructions out for downloading the mobile app either on the iPhone or on Google Play, depending on which device you have. So make sure you download that. Richie will then walk you through how to log in from here on out. So Richie, take it away.
Perfect. Thanks, Ryan. And I won't take up too much of your time, guys. I'll just go through, all of your responsibilities on match day. But pretty much, let's go through the whole process. So the login process included. When you first download the app, this is the first screen that you'll come across. A lot of people, a lot of referees get confused and they think they have to add a team or league to see their appointments. That's not the case. You'll just have to log in. So I think a lot of you should have your login details for Squadi at the moment, and if you haven't received some, they should be sent out soon. So once you receive that email, you'll receive your password. So all you have to do is go tap onto the bottom right where it says login. And again here, do not create an account or register a profile because it is going to be created for you. So if you don't see your appointments or anything like that, it's probably because you created an account and it's linked, like, your official profile is linked to another email. So make sure that when you receive your login details, just go to the log back in option. So it's in a little hyperlink at the bottom there. Once you get to this screen, you should
Sorry,
just,
Richie. I'm seeing
yeah.
seeing some chats about there's nothing on the screen. I do see it on my end. Others, if you're also not seeing anything, please just let us know. Matt Folk, I know you can unmute. Do you see it on your screen?
Or maybe on the chat.
Yeah. I'm getting some thumbs up, and I'm getting a
That's
couple I
odd.
can see. Okay. For those that can't, we'll again be sure to share this, but I do see a majority of people are telling us we're good. So sorry to
Okay,
interrupt there.
all good. So yeah, you should be on this screen to log in, and then you would have received your login details via email. So just put in your email and then put in the password in there. If you do want to change your password, just go forgot/reset password, and then it'll send you another link to your email or your phone number, depending what you put in, and then you can reset it that way. So log in, and it should take you to the home screen. So this is where you'll see all your appointments, and everything in Squadi is done under one user profile. So you can see that this is my test environment, and I've got a playing role, I've got a managing role. So I've got a couple different roles in here. And the match cards you see here are all role specific. So you can see that you can see my managing card, and you can also see my refereeing card at the bottom there. So when you receive your assignments or appointments, you'll see your match card populated in date order. So you'll be able to accept or decline your appointments. So make sure that if you are definitely attending this appointment, just select that yes option. If you can't make it for whatever reason, just select no. It will ask you to type in confirm and put in a reason afterwards. So make sure that you put that in just so that the assigners will have visibility over that. If you are refereeing this match, just click into the match card once that or before the match, and then this is where you'll be doing the player check-in. So it says team sheet here at the moment because I'm in my test environment, but in the US app, it will say roster. So click into the roster area, team sheet in this case, and you'll be able to see the entire player roster here. So some managers may have already completed their roster, and you would already see it ticked like this. And all you have to do from that point onwards is select the little profile icon on the left-hand side if you wanted to verify their player photo or their date of birth, anything like that, you'll be able to see there. And then to change their shirt numbers, all you have to do is select the shirt number underneath the name. I'm sorry, you can't tell where I'm clicking, but I just clicked where the shirt number was under that player's name. So you can go here and change the shirt number for if a player has changed a shirt number or if you needed to make any changes. So this, when you select the players that are part of this roster, you are selecting the entire roster. So, if they had a team of 18, you would put all 18 there, including the substitutions that they have. And then you can click between both teams on the top there. So you can see that I've got Sydney FC and Western Sydney Wanderers. Once you're
Um,
happy with, yeah,
Yep, I'll jump in real quick here for the referees. If somebody is on the roster, they're presenting a pass to you, they're good to play. Suspended individuals will either be crossed off or not appear. Richie, feel free to keep me honest, but
yeah.
um, those individuals will not be eligible. Uh, Rosters are frozen for the State Cup competition, so anybody on the roster that is also presenting you a physical pass is good to play. No pass, no play, no exceptions.
Cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, if a player is suspended, you will see that player be crossed off with a big red line through their name and a S at the end of their name. So once you've confirmed the player check-in, it will also tell you when the roster was last submitted at the top there in green, and then yeah, it will show for all the managers as well that it was submitted. You can also view other referees that are appointed to this match, so their details, so you can see their contact details and their names if you select game referees. Team officials. So if they were recording team officials, which they are, I think, Ryan, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yep. Yeah, and the team officials are assigned to the roster already.
Yeah, perfect. So The managers, coaches, or yourself, you guys can go in and put, add in the team officials that they have on the roster and add them by searching them here. If they're already added by the team admins, you'll just be able to see their names populate here. You can also report an incident. So to do that, just go into the report incident area and put in the injury type or any other incidents that you may need to report. One sec, I just need to update the scoring. I just put it to a future match. Just give me
Yep.
one sec.
As you're doing that, on the report incidents screen there are quite a number of options for injuries. Just pick other to keep it simple. You're not a doctor. You're not going to diagnose, the type of injury. This will work on getting cleaned up for the initial games. If you have an injury, an apparent serious injury that needs to be reported, other is fine. As well as you have other at the top for example, spectator issues, issues with the field of play, anything that you need to tell the competition about there. Discipline issues that are outside of misconduct. So, if you have a send off or uh, uh, a caution that maybe requires more detail, but this discipline is really for your spectators, or you want to share that there was a major, concern that the competition should know about. Any one of these that you choose will come back to us to the same place. So if you select the wrong one, no big deal. We want to make sure that you're at least reporting an incident that comes into us.
Yeah.
There are a couple questions that I'll answer real quick. Does it make any difference which team is checked in first? Rules of competition for state cup specify the home team. So make sure you're familiar. Excuse me. Make sure you're familiar with the rules of competition, which we'll have posted in the news and updates on the app as well. And I believe I just answered your question, Jeff. Place to expand on what other is. Yeah, once you tap into any of those incidents, a digital form will come up with questions about, what you're trying to report.
Cool. Okay. So then the next part is putting in the scores after the match. So after the match has been completed, just go to verify action login scores, and you'll see a plus button where the timeline is. This is to enter in any action. So this includes goal or a offense, so yellow card or a red card. So I'll show you how that process works now. You'll just put in you just put a plus button. And if it's a goal that you're putting in, just select the team, select the type as goal, and then put in the goal as normal. If it was an own goal, you can put normal. If it was an own goal, you can put own goal. But here I'll just put normal. And then select the match time. So don't worry about the period because it will default to whatever period depending on the match time. So if it's, the 50th minute, it will automatically default to the second period. And you can also add added time if it's enabled. I don't know if we've enabled it on your end, Ryan, but yeah, you can add added time as well. So that's injury time.
Yep, we have. And the games will have, for example, if you're working an 11U or a 12U match, those are 60-minute matches. So you'll only be able to select match time 1 to 60. If it happens in the, 61st minute because of added time, you're more than welcome to just put 60. You're more than welcome to put 60 plus 1. What we're asking is that the goal is recorded.
Yeah. Yeah. So once you've done that action, just go next and then select the player that scored that match. So you can go by shirt number if you don't know their name. So just select the player. Don't worry about assist and just go done. Then you'll be able to see that action populate this action log here, and you would continuously populate all the other actions. So you just press the plus button, and if it was a yellow card, just put in one of the codes and go next and select the player. And you should see it populate. If you do make a mistake for whatever reason, you can click onto the action and just delete it on the top right corner there. You see a little bin icon. Bear in mind, if you give 2 yellows to the same player, you will it will automatically prompt a red card. So you'll see here when I give this player a yellow card, it will prompt a red card. So if I give it to this player, so see how it comes up. This is the second yellow card, which was result in a red. So just select yes, and it will action that red card in the same minute that you've put it in. What this will do is actually generate a supplementary report for you to complete after verifying the scores of this match. So if you are happy with this 1-0 score, just go to verify on the top right corner and just type in confirm. Once you do this, it will actually prompt you to submit an additional incident report if you would like to. If you don't have any additional incident reports, just select no, and you should see that send-off report generated. So this is your supplementary report. So you'll just click that and complete it. If for whatever reason, after the match, you didn't have time to complete that supplementary report and you wanted to complete it when you got home, you can absolutely do that. That match card won't disappear, provided that there's a send-off report that was generated. So if you go back, you can see that that send-off report for that match is still visible. All you have to do is select it. And this will take you back to that supplementary report that you will have to complete so that the competition organizers at New Jersey will be able to have visibility of all of this.
Good. There was a question from Eric, should goals cards be entered in real time or after the game? This will all be after the game. There are no fourth officials for these matches, so this is all after the game. You still record all the details in the same manner that you would during the game, through your gamepad. Then confirm it with the crew after the match is over in your post-match debrief. Then feel free to enter that in. We know a lot of times games can be back to back. So before moving to your next game, make sure you've confirmed all the details with your referee crew. And then you can go home later, for example, and enter that information. We ask that it's done within 24 hours of the match, but no, it should not be entering these on the field. There's another question from Daniel. Richie, feel free to chime in on this one. Will all 3 referees have the same access rights and ability to view rosters, modify jersey numbers, or is the access only to the center referee? I believe it's the same for. Yep, go ahead.
No, the access is actually just for the center ref. So there's the AR1 and AR2 actually have visibility of the match card. They'll be able to see the roster and the game referees, but they won't be able to make any edits. So that's up to the main referee to do.
Okay, good.
Um,
Coaches do have the ability, what I'll say, sometimes somebody doesn't arrive to a game or there's changes that are needed. Coaches do have the ability to, tick off the players, so to speak, on the roster. So, for example, if the center official doesn't show or is late, injured, what have you, the coaches can make the needed selections for the players that attended and then reach out to your signer after to have the assignments modified so you can complete the score. Is a supplemental report still required for send-offs? All digital. Once, as Richie just showed, once you enter that there was a send-off in the match, the app will prompt you to complete that send-off report. You can do it right through the app. No need to email it to State Cups or write something out on a piece of paper. You can do it right through the app. If you got a lot to write, you're more than welcome to send it in, but we want you as a referee to have the tool to do everything in one spot and not have to track down different emails. Okay. Richie, anything else you want to show?
I mean, do you want me to show anything else? I think that was it. That's all I had to cover from a referee perspective. So if you did want to follow other leagues or follow a team, you can do that. Actually, my screen has disappeared. I will quickly share it. So yeah, if you did want to see any other results for different leagues or anything like that that sit under New Jersey or any other organization that is currently using Squadi, you can do that. So there is an area called this area is called schedules in the live US environment. So just click on the top right corner where it's got that little filter option, and you can search for leagues here.
Good. Yeah, I think this is especially helpful for referees that maybe want to do a little bit of homework on the teams that they have, see how their state cup run has been, for example. So if you have a game assignment for the weekend, feel free to head over to the schedules tab and take a look and see how they've done. Who's scoring their goals, right? We now have that level of detail in the app. Helps with your pregame preparation. I know we're talking about some younger games, but as we look toward the spring, this will be really important and really helpful to have these statistics.
Yeah. And you will also be able to see the standings as well. So it says ladders, it's all Australian terminology. So it is in the correct US terminology in the US environment. So just bear that in mind. You will be able to see their full form, or you'll be able to see their last 5 matches. So I don't actually have much data in here, but you will be able to see their results of their last 5 matches on this standings area, or just the short version where you see their points.
Good. Some other questions that have popped up. Will the app notify us that we need to check for games? Yeah, one of the important things is when you download the app, if you haven't already, I recommend you do it tonight. Log in right away through that login button in the bottom right-hand corner, and then log back in as Richie showed. Um, the app will then send you a push notification when your assigner has assigned you a match, just like, if you get a text message or, something else. So, um, encourage you to download the app, and that's how you'll be notified. Same thing with updates from the competition, New Jersey Youth Soccer. We'll send out on a weekly basis reminders about rules of competition and any, issues that maybe we're seeing in previous games. We'll send those push notifications right to your phone. So and keep them posted on the home screen, right at the top there. So you have access to all of the materials that you need for the competition as soon as you open the phone.
Yeah.
There was a question from Daniel. No, you're not required to add a team or league. So I think as Richie kicked us off, when you first open the app, uh, it will present you to add a team or league. That's really for spectators. Since you have accounts, you'll hit that login button and you'll log in to get access. You don't need to add a team or league. If you've done it already, no big deal. Um, Question from Ron. Do we need to enter our availability? This will depend on a assigner by assigner basis. So your assigner may reach out and say, yep, please enter availability. Other assigners may already know it because you've provided it to them in some way, shape, or form for regular league games. So encourage you to check with your assigner on that one. Richie, would you mind just sharing
Yep.
where that
Yep.
availability is for us?
Yeah, my phone keeps locking. Sorry. Can you guys see my screen?
No.
Okay, let me just try again. So let me know when you can see it, because it's not working. Give me 1 second.
Sure. Um, Ernie asked a question about multiple roles in the system. Does it matter if you also have a login as a club administrator? Will it affect ability to get assignments? Does it matter? I'll add if you're a coach or potentially a player. The answer is no. The app will take into account every role that you have, provided it's the same contact information, um, and present whatever event you have on that home screen. So if you're, coaching, for example, you'll have a match that says coaching next to it. If you're officiating, you'll have a match that says refereeing next to it. So you only have to go to one spot for whatever role you're involved in. The email received today did not include a password from Ron. Ron, if you want to forward the email that you received today, feel free to do that. I don't know that we sent anything out today. Yesterday was the last import of accounts. If you haven't received anything from us yet, we still have one more import, I believe, for officials with Rich Papperman. Will assignments be based off of which area you live in, such as county? Yep, absolutely. So you have been again kind of nominated, appointed to an assigner in your local area. And assigners, I'm sure, will do their best to get you games that are local to you.
So Ryan, do you mind giving me access again? Sorry, it's
Yep,
Richard Guest, the
you got it.
unverified one. Yeah, thank you.
Guest. Did I get the right one?
Yes, you did.
Okay, good.
For some reason, it is not letting me present anymore.
I might be able to pull it up on my side here. I think I have a refereeing role, so
Okay.
I'll launch that. Um, yeah, password creation will come from Squadi as the sender. A couple
There we
individuals had,
go.
there you go. A couple individuals did have to check their spam. Make sure to obviously mark it as a safe sender after if it did end up in your spam there.
Cool. So
Some
to
officials that worked, sorry, Richie, some officials that may have worked other competitions using Squatty, like NPSL, WPSL, your account is likely the same. So if you already have credentials, you may not have received a temporary password, but you received an email that said you've been added to New Jersey Youth Soccer Fall State Cups. So if you already had an account, please refer to the app like you've done for those other competitions.
Cool. I will say for the NPSL referees, you guys all logged in with one generic email. So you will actually have to log out if you're a NPSL referee because you all received one generic login. So you would have received your own personal
Oh, okay.
login for New Jersey.
Got it.
Um, but in saying that, to set referee availability, it's very easy. Just go to the more option on the bottom right and select referee availability. So you should see that under my profile. And you will get presented a screen like this. All you have to do is drag your finger across and mark your unavailability. So if you're unavailable between 8 a.m. and 12:30 for the 26th of August, you'll just save that there. And then this will it'll give the referee assigners visibility of this, and they won't be able to appoint you during those times.
Good. A note on assignments. As you receive assignments, it's important to accept them or decline them timely. State Cup is a unique competition where there may be 1 week between rounds, and assigners are working on a very tight timeline to get assignments to teams that need to schedule and meet a play-by date. So the longer you take to accept a game within the platform, um, it kind of has a domino effect on the other things that are going on, right? So really important to accept or decline within the app once you receive that notification that you've been assigned. Okay. Any other questions? Good. A way to reserve the availability entry so unavailable by default. What we've done, given the number of referees, and since we're relatively new, is our configuration is to have assumed available unless you tell it otherwise. So again, I think a lot of assigners are still managing availability outside of the platform because of the other league competitions. Um, I would encourage you to check with your assigner on how they anticipate doing that. Okay. Any other questions? If you haven't received credentials yet, what I'll ask is just wait another 24 hours for that next round to go in. If you don't hear anything by, I would say Friday morning, please email state cups, plural, state cups at njyouthsoccer.com. I'll drop that in the chat here. Your assigners, as awesome as they are, will not be tech support. So if you're having issues with the app, technical kind of troubleshooting, feel free to reach out to State Cups and we can help you with that. We'll also provide game day contact information for the competition that will be listed in the app. So if you have a game and there's some technical issue or competition related issue that you have a question with, you'll be able to reach out to our staff for assistance. That will be posted in that news and announcements right on that home screen when you're logged into the app. Good. And Richie, I think you got a question from a fellow Aussie. If there are no other questions, you want to say thank you. But do you have to turn on all the red squares even on weekdays? Apparently, there is a possibility of weeknight assignments. Again, this will depend on your specific assigner, but State Cup can have the possibility of weeknight games. So, yes. Good. Will there be matches on the weekends? Yeah, majority of matches are on the weekends. What I'll do is pull up our play-by dates just so you have a familiarity. Let's pull this up here. So each round needs to be completed by a certain date. The teams are responsible for scheduling that on time. As you can imagine, most do, and there are some that don't. So this is our general schedule. So for round of 64 matches, there's about 15 games that need to be played. They'll be released on Friday for the teams to start scheduling. They'll have until Sunday the 8th to play those matches. So some lucky referees will have State Cup games starting next week. You'll kind of be our run through on this, and we'll be reaching out for some feedback, make sure that we're all set. After that, round of 32 games have to be played by the 15th. You'll find on the play-by weekends, a majority of the games will be played there. Sometimes people take advantage and play earlier, but you'll find a majority will be played on either the Saturday or Sunday of the weekend at the 15th, for example. 2 weeks later, you have your round of 16, so the end of September there. I believe that's another 2 weeks later for your quarterfinals. Very quick turnaround for your semifinals, and another quick turnaround for the championship matches, which are managed by the referee committee upon nominations and selections. Cool. Any other questions? Great. We'll be sharing the bite-sized video resources as well as some written ones for those that prefer the written resources over the next few days. For those that are assigned the round of 64 matches by the end of next week, best of luck. And please don't hesitate to reach out to us if you're having any issues at all. We're going to repeat this session a couple times through over the next couple of weeks to make sure we hit all the referee pools that are officiating or have the opportunity to officiate for this competition. Best of luck this fall season. Thank you so much.